Welcome to the Caregiver Relief Podcast, where we shine a light on real challenges and the real resilience of family caregivers. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Sabrina Ciceri, a multifaceted author, wellness advocate, and devoted mother of six. Sabrina is the heart and voice behind the book. If it's not one thing, it's a mother, where she blends humor, honesty, and heartfelt reflection to explore the dynamics of family life and personal growth. With her unique background as a nurse in long term care and home health, a certified fitness instructor, and a former magazine publisher, Sabrina has seen firsthand the toll that caregiving can take on health, well being, and quality of life. She's even published an article warning of the dangers caregivers face when they give so much to others that they neglect their own mental and physical well being. Sabrina's mission is simple but powerful: to empower others to embrace life with determination, positivity, and self compassion so they can thrive rather than survive. This episode is sponsored by myvitalvault.net, your all in one life organizer for aging adults and caregivers. It's designed to help you securely store your essential legal, medical, and emergency information in one easy to access place. Because when a crisis hits, being prepared can make all the difference. Join our Caregiver Relief community, a warm, welcoming space where you can connect with other caregivers, ask questions, share stories, and find support from people who truly understand. Visit community.caregiverrelief.com to join now, because caregiving is one of the hardest and most meaningful things you'll ever do, and no one should have to do it alone. And if this episode speaks to you, please take a moment to like, share, or comment. Every click helps us reach more caregivers who need encouragement, resources, and hope. Sabrina, I'm so excited to have you here with me today. We share many things in common. I've done many types of nursing, and I have been in long-term care and health. And you've worn so many hats. You're a nurse, you're an author, you're a wellness advocate, and a foster parent. Which of these roles first ignited your passion for helping others?
I think for sure it was years ago when I took the step into traditional nursing. I knew at that time that I had a care for showing people not just clinical, taking care of them with their medication, but showing them what I felt like I saw was missing, which was love and tenderness and those things that people get busy and don't do in their careers.
Yeah. One of the things that I find sad about now, I've been a nurse, I'll tell you, for 50 some years. So in the dark ages, when in acute care, we used to start at the end of the hall at nighttime after we passed our PM meds or evening meds, and we would have a bucket with warm water with lotions, bottles of lotion so we could warm it up. And we started at the end of the hall, and we would do back massages and do skincare checks on the back, the bottoms, the knees, and the elbows. And then you did oral care. Now, we don't even do that in nursing homes. So I know there's so much missing in our healthcare system because we're not able to take a holistic approach anymore. And you spent years in long-term care and home health, so you've seen what I've seen.
Oh yeah, no, it's terrible. You can't even give the care in today's time that you could have done years ago because you're short staffed. You're overloaded with patient numbers. And it's weird hearing some of these words, like you say, skin check. I remember when a skin check was thorough and I did have lotion and everything. And it slowly got to where you didn't hardly have time. You could half do it. You were just checking them to make sure that they were okay, but you couldn't spend time because you were getting pulled in every direction. It was disheartening. That's one of the reasons why I got out of it after about 15 years. I was discouraged and
Yeah.
kind of changed path to be more of on the advocating side of wellness.
You know, Sabrina, I'm coming across people that are being sent home with bed sores, pressure sores, and they're not even documented because nobody's done a skincare check. And what's even frightening is they now say patients, if a patient wants to refuse being turned, they have that right. And that causes more harm. I don't know what's going on because I don't understand it because we learned you're prone to pneumonia, you're prone to skin breakdown, you're prone to so many things due to inactivity. And if you don't get people turned, they're actually our healthcare system now is allowing serious complications to occur, which costs a ton more money to prepare to take care of. So I don't understand that. But I want to get us back on topic here. What were some of the most striking patterns you saw in caregiver burnout?
Oh, just putting the person that was suffering from the illness first. Just saw it constantly. If there was a wife and a husband and he had Alzheimer's or anything, any type of illness, she forfeited everything to care for herself.
Yeah.
Got up and took care of him. She would feed him first, not even eat. Just I got to watch over the course of time the spouse, the caregiver, sometimes it was a daughter that was taking care of a mother, just absolutely just burning themselves completely out, losing color in their face, losing weight. Just it was very sad.
They either lose weight or they gain weight because they eat badly, junk, and some of them even resort to drinking or drugs to help them numb them as they get through the caregiving journey. And I'm seeing a lot of that right now. And I love your article about caregiver health decline. You sounded the alarm about the risks of giving until you break. What inspired you to write that?
It was really through doing patient care, and I was doing a lot of home health at the time, and it was just it broke my heart to see somebody give their own life up for another. I just felt like it didn't have to get to that point to where you're every day you were miserable, but couldn't even be honest to say you're miserable because that would mean what? You didn't love your husband or and all the guilt that would come over them just for wanting to sit down and watch a TV show or I just felt so bad that I wanted to try to put something together about that.
I think that was very a timely thing. In fact, it was probably before its time because right now we have a situation where the family caregiver is expected to do things that were once done by healthcare professionals. And with the Medicare's rationing care, even home care, so that the family caregiver, unless they're from a wealthy family, are not getting the care. And the other dynamic is family caregivers, whether they're the wife or an adult child, feel guilty and a failure if they ask for help. And I think that is really a downfall for them because asking for help is absolutely a survival technique at this point in time. So, in your experience, how can they begin shifting that mindset?
I just think they have to realize that they need to take care of themselves first, just like on the airplanes where they say, put down the oxygen on yourself first before you try to help your child or help others. I think that they need to understand that by taking short breaks, by walking away for a little bit, going for the afternoon to get your nails done or go to your dental appointment, stop putting yourself off. I think that they're realizing that they're coming back stronger and better.
Yes. One of the things I see all the time is caregivers. And what I do is I encourage caregivers to build a care team partner support group around them. And that is to have help them ask for help easily through this care team partner group where they ask for practical assistance. And it may be, hey, can you put the groceries away or help me with laundry or can you do the lawn for me? Things that they don't need to do or that take them away from actual caregiving. And it does those little bits of breaks help them so much. Or have a person who loves to do activities, whether it's games or movies or whatever, have them come and help bring activities to the person you're caring for while you go away to do the doctors or to do working out or whatever, because I think that gives you a chance to rejuvenate. And caregivers neglect activities. They think they're fluff and they're essential because doing an activity actually keeps the senior or the person you're caring for busy and interacting with something other than you. and it gives you that break, and it can avoid challenging behaviors and negative behaviors. So I think it's really important that if they take anything away, get someone to help you bring in activities and interact with your loved ones so you get that break.
Yes, yeah, they do this with the ones they're taking care of. They
Yeah.
do things to stimulate them and keep them healthy and sharp, but they don't do it for themselves. And they also don't realize that they feel guilty, like they have to be the one with their spouse or the one all the time, but you're not doing them a favor if they can't meet different people. It'd be better for them to hang out with the neighbor a little bit and get some different stimulation.
Yes, yes. I have to tell you a funny story. My 85-year-old mother-in-law would say she belonged to a church that did visitations, and she would say to me, Diane, I'm going over to babysit. That's what she called it.
Yeah.
One of her parishioners in the church. And here it was a 95-year-old lady that she was giving their caregiver, her daughter, who was in her 70s, a break to be able to go get her hair done. And I just love that because they would do things like this little lady was very, and my mother-in-law were very religious. So they would pray the rosary or something. But it was nice to have a fresh face in front of you all the time and to do something that was important to you while your caregiver was out refreshing themselves and feeling like they were human again. And I think that's so important.
Yes, it is.
Now, you're also a certified fitness instructor. So, how do you see the connection between physical activity and emotional resilience for caregivers?
I think it's vital. I think it's vital really with everybody in life. Until you've experienced it, you don't know how it cures depression, anxiety. It helps with so many things to stay active. I think there's people that are on medications today that might not need to be on them if they could get out and take a walk in the sunshine and move their body.
100% I agree. Yes. And caregivers come up with excuses. I can't leave, or I can't get outside, or you know what? And I can't do a whole 30 minutes, then do 10 minutes. 10 minutes of a walk outside, or 10 minutes of just walking circles on the outside, on the porch, or around the house for a few minutes. Get out, get that sunshine, breathe in that air, whether it's warm and humid or brisk and cold. It grounds you to the
That's right.
world, and
It's
it's
very
such a beautiful.
stimulating. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, yes. And I also tell people during those times, take time to say positive things to yourself. I want to have a good day. I'm going to have a good day, and or I choose to have a good day. There's mantras that people can say to themselves to lift them up and lift their spirits up, and I think that's really important.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Another thing that I think's missing with all of us, and I remind myself all the time, is breathing, deep cleansing breaths. We only use the top part of our lungs. We shallow breathe all the time. And you can feel so good when you're feeling overwhelmed and exhausted to do 2 or 3 just deep cleansing breaths. It feels good.
Really encourage my caregivers when I'm working with them to, when they get anxious or they get upset, the first thing they should do is do just that. Take a deep breath, let
Mhm.
it out slow, count to 10 so that and it's not silly, it helps calm you, but take several of them because it changes your perspective and it calms you down and gives you it helps make you less emotional at the time because people don't understand if you make choices and decisions by emotion, you're making poor decisions because they have no logic to back them up.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, you're a mother of 6. God bless you. And you and your husband were honored as foster parents of the year. Congratulations. That's very impressive.
Thank you.
So, how has your personal caregiving shaped your understanding of burnout?
Oh, wow. When the last little ones, I had 2 newborns and a 2-year-old at the same time.
Oh,
I was taking care of them myself until they were 8 months old. And I think that I realized I had to get help, and I did. I went on to a caregiver.com or something. I think it's called care.com.
yes.
And I found something. It's more affordable than people think that it is.
Yes.
And we had a budget in as to how much relief I could get. And we started with just 2 hours, 3 days a week. And it helped me so much. At first, I cried and I felt guilty. But then as soon as I realized that having that little break, I was way more connected to the kids when I would come back. I had a little bit of a break, so I was a better mom to them when I was present.
It's funny, it's okay for us to have babysitters come in and help us, but it's like we feel like we're failing if we have somebody come to help take care of our loved one, whether they're a disabled person or an aging senior. And the thing is, they're both the same. You need to survive, and
Yes.
it's not a sprint, it's a marathon you're on. Many don't realize that the average caregiving journey is around 6 to 7 years, but some go as long as 20 years.
Really? Yeah,
And
that's crazy.
and to not take care of yourself. I have a client that called me. She's out in California. She's 75. She says, and I've been talking to her for a long time. She goes, Diane, my mom's going to be 102. I've decided to put her in assisted living. And I said, it's about time. She said, I'm 75. I've been doing this for 20 years. And she says, I need to learn to take care of myself.
Wow. Just as learning.
Yes, and it took her this long, and she put her mom in assisted living, and she started living her life, which I just love because if she wait, her mom could live to 110, who knows anymore? And for
Yeah,
her to be able to take a break, I think was so important, but it takes a village to do children. It also takes a village to take care of a disabled or an aging senior.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, caregiving often blurs the line between family and care. What advice do you have for navigating this boundary?
I think it's just no matter what you're looking at, you have to look at yourself.
Mm.
You have to, and I'm a Christian woman and I know God loves me and takes care of me, but I also know that I have a responsibility to do some things for myself. It's not all about the family or even the person I'm trying to caregive for or my job or anything. And as a woman in particular, which I love men too, I mean, this isn't a male bashing thing, but
No, not with me.
women are nurturers,
Yes.
and we tend to nurture and give to everything around us, our pets, our stray animal. We
Yep.
tend to do it, but it probably did take me too long in life. And I talk to young women all the time, encouraging them, don't feel guilty. Take breaks for yourself because you need to start with loving yourself for you to be able to fully love the people around you.
Yeah. Caregivers don't realize that they need to know what their own limits are because we are not at a pool of giving all the time without replenishing our needs. We also have needs that need to be met. And I think one of the biggest problems that caregivers have is they don't know how to set boundaries. And not only do they know how to set boundaries, but if they say it once, can't do this right now, or I can't do this, like they're talking to an extended family member. I can't do this. Like, I just need for you to be here to take out the trash on Wednesday, every Wednesday. That would help me so much. Little things like that. And then the caregiver gets upset when they have to ask more than one time. And then they feel guilty or they think, I'll do it myself. Don't get into that victim mode. Don't get into that. Actually, people need to hear something 6 or 7 times before it actually settles into their long-term memory. Just send reminders out, text them, whatever. It's not being aggressive, it's necessary for your survival.
It is, but it's so hard because you are honored and glamorized and admired if you do too much. If it's that old saying, it says, if you want something done, give it to the woman that's already too busy because she'll take care of everything. So it's like you're almost applauded that she can do everything. Look at her go. And so you're like, wow, if I slow down, then will I not be as good as somebody else? It's pressure.
And you know, it's really sad. So many family caregivers end up with nothing at the end. They have nobody to take care of them. They have many end up at or below poverty level after, and some even become homeless because they were living in their parents' home. And when the parent died, there was no accommodations made for them. That's why I think one of the things I tell my caregivers if to set those boundaries is to create a family caregiver contract, which sets up what you will do, how And you look at it as a job, and I know caregivers get upset with me, but if you look at it as a job, then you get vacation times, you get breaks, and the people around you, the extended family members and uninvolved siblings, if they cannot physically help you, then they need to financially contribute so that they can pay for someone to come in to give you those breaks you need. And I think that is really important. And I think that putting things in a contract makes it really simple and easy so that the family caregiver says, we all signed this and this is what we agreed to. And you have to honor your commitment to me.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I really am pushing for that because we have a silver tsunami here and it's going to get ugly. And because Medicare reimbursement has been cut so low, or the Medicare Advantage, I just learned that Medicare Advantage, if you're in a skilled facility or rehab, it's $200 to $500 a day copay. Can you
Oh my.
imagine that?
That's not an
Sabrina,
option for so many people.
exactly. So the family caregiver and home care has been cut, the benefits to it. We're getting ration care right now, and it is only going to get worse with the growing tsunami. So I really encourage people, get the caregivers, get that family caregiver contract in place and be very specific about what you want and need and what you're going to get in return. In fact, if you're going to be spending down to apply for Medicaid, then it's a good place to start putting in what you're going to charge per day. And on my caregiver relief website, there's directions on how to do that and how to charge accurately so that but you can't do it afterwards. You can't do it retroactively. You have to do it from this day forward because it doesn't work like that with Medicaid. You have to have a concrete documentation of where the money's going. Now, you've written a book. It's not one thing, it's a mother, and it blends humor and honesty. How has your storytelling helped you and others heal from life's challenges?
I think just recognizing that we understand each other. You've been in their shoes, you know what they feel like. So they don't feel like they're the only ones out there that feel a certain way.
Yeah,
That's it. Just that connection.
yeah.
As a woman growing up through being a daughter, then becoming a mother and now a grandmother and mothering my own mother now,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
changes.
Oh, I understand totally. And I love that. Now you faced your share of obstacles. What was the one challenge that transformed the way you approach caregiving in life?
I think really it was my relationship with my mom. I'm an only child and my mother had me when she was 17. And I think that when I had to stop being angry and realize that she loved me the best she could and that she did the best she could, then I realized that I could accept her, myself, people around me that I meet, and realizing that things aren't always against us personally. They're acting out of where they're at, and it might be the best they have. So just I choose happiness every day. I choose to walk in love every day.
Yes.
And that's just what's brought me peace with every relationship in my life.
It's funny because people don't understand they really do have choices. Could
Mhm.
wake up and feel miserable and grumpy and growly. I know I have chronic pain, and I always wake up every day and thank God that I woke up and I'm feeling okay. And I really encourage every caregiver to start their day with an attitude of gratitude. Find one thing, even if it's, "Oh gosh, I woke up and the sun's out. I woke up and I slept through the night without an interruption." There's so many things. Just start with little things you're grateful for, and that puts you on a positive mindset for the rest of the day.
Definitely. I do that same thing. I even have reminders on my walls that remind me of things that are good because there are things that come up that are bad. There's
Yes.
some things that don't happen right. And I wake up feeling certain ways, and the cat's kept me up all night and different things. There's still plenty of things to be happy for.
Yes. Yeah, when the dog gets me up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, "Ugh." But you look at their little faces and they look at you and my heart melts. I'm a sucker for a pretty face. I'm a sucker for an ugly one.
Me too.
And when they're talking to you and we wake up and sometimes I get them to go back to bed and cuddle with me and other times it's, "Arr."
Oh, I know.
"Feed me, mama. Take me for a walk." It's, but
No, that's how it is. The ones that caregive, I don't know if it's something to do with I've adopted kids, so I've got 6. I've got 3 cats, 3 dogs. I'm like, and my husband says, when's it going to stop? I don't know. I'm hoping it'll stop too. But you just find yourself drawn to more things to take care of.
You live a full life, and I will tell you when it does stop, you are going to have an empty house, and the pets may be the only thing that you have left. Because I know so many empty nesters right now that are totally lost because the kids are gone out of the house. Many open the bottle of champagne and go and change the kids' room to a workout room or something, but then there's a piece missing, and that's when people have to reach out and do things, and I hope that people, when they do become empty nesters like you, and I can see because of your husband and you having such giving natures, you'll be volunteering, you'll be doing something to
Yeah.
fill your life. But I get that. Now, if a caregiver listening right now feels they're running on empty, what's the first small step you recommend they take today?
I think they need to make sure that they're getting hydrated every day because that's a big thing. And as in nursing, there's a huge number of people that get admitted when it started with simple dehydration.
Yes.
And just getting water in your body, not waiting till you're thirsty, but it clears the mind, it energizes. It's the feeling of dehydration, even mild, is really bad
Yes.
feeling.
Yes.
I
And
think that's it.
I think when they're running on empty, it maybe they need to take care of themselves as well
Yes.
and eat better, get out and walk. The other thing I tell people is watch old episodes of Lucy. I love Lucy. Find some humor in your life. It's hard, but if you can just laugh, it does so much. It has so many health benefits for you.
Yeah, laughter is huge. And definitely don't turn on the news. For God's sake, don't
Oh
turn on the news.
no, and
It's negative and full of lies on top of it.
exactly. Now, what role does community play in sustaining a caregiver's health and hope?
Oh, it's wonderful. These communities, when you start digging in, people think they live in rural areas and don't have anything. I live in the country myself, but there are groups out there. Ask the local churches. There's support groups of every kind.
Yeah.
People in the communities that I live, and I find this when I talk to other people, they do generally, most people in this world, even there's a lot of negativity that's gone on since 2020, there's still the bulk of humanity that wants to love and care and support and look out for one another and be there. And they're in your local communities, as small as it is. It might be the small church of God, but I guarantee you there's a group of people that meet to support one another.
And I think that's one of the hardest things caregivers have is asking for help.
Yeah.
And somebody will come up to them, "Hey, if you need something, just give me a call." And then they never call that person. When somebody says that to you, say, "Oh, I'd like for someone to help me with the yard," or like someone to help me with my pets," or "I'd like someone to help me manage my mom's medications." There's so many things. That's why I tell again, create a care team partner support group where you are actually reaching out, asking people and asking them for specific things based on what you know about them.
Yes.
Like my mother-in-law who used to go babysit the 90-year-old. She's 85, she's 5 years younger than this little old lady or maybe 6 or 7 years younger, and there she is going out, and she's sitting with her, keeping that woman company while her daughter actually gets out and goes to the hairdresser, gets her hair done, her nails done, or whatever, giving that the caregiver, a chance to feel human again, and I think that's really important.
It is. And I think there's one thing too, the caregivers that are listening that I think they really need to understand is that remember how good it makes you feel to help someone or to offer to help someone. And when someone offers to help you, don't say, no, that's okay and everything's okay, because you're robbing them of the blessing that they're wanting to feel good and they want to help. It's not about the fact that you can manage and you don't really have to have them. But if somebody offers, it might be that it's been laid on their heart to bless somebody, and don't take that away from them. Let them have it.
I love that point, and the other thing I'm gonna tell caregivers is, look, if somebody offers to help you, don't be a nudge and tell them they're doing it wrong. I can't
For
tell you
sure.
I can't tell you how many caregivers feel a need to have things done the way they do them, and
Yes.
it really turns people off, And I can tell you right now, I had a friend that I was helping her. I loaded the kitchen was a mess, and I cleaned up the kitchen and put everything in the dishwasher. I helped her wipe down the counters and stuff, and she actually came in after I was done and took everything out of the dishwasher and put it back in the way
Oh,
she liked it.
Lord.
And I'm
Oh,
like, that is
well, it'll
discouraging.
diminish. Yes, that's
Yes,
demeaning to them
yes.
when they tried.
Yeah, suck it up, and if you don't like the way I ended up like you filled up your dishwasher, you're in trouble. So they don't comb the hair of your family member the way you do or something. It doesn't matter as long as the end result is the person you're caring for is getting their needs met, and you're getting a simple, wonderful, much needed break. Please accept the help in the fashion that it is given.
Yes, consider it just like you would a child. When we're raising up children, they don't walk right, they're not talking right color. We don't demean them and make them feel bad. We're like, "Oh, great job." Even though it's not a great job, that's how you appreciate it, their
Yes.
effort.
Yes, and just be grateful, show gratitude to the person because then they'll wanna come back and do something for you again, and that's more important than having no support or help at all, where I say this statistic often is 63% of family caregivers become seriously ill or pass before the person they're caring for passes.
Yes.
And the chronic stress is real, and the consequences of that chronic stress and the neglect of self-care is absolutely making a negative impact on the caregiver's health.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I saw it, I agree.
Yeah. Sabrina, you've given us so much wisdom today. How can listeners connect with you, get your book, or follow your work?
They can find the book on Amazon, but also just my name, Sabrina Ciceri, CICERI.com.
Okay. To my listeners, it will be in the show notes. And Sabrina, we create a permanent page on caregiver relief with the content of this podcast and links, and we will put all your information there. So as people peruse around my site, they may come across you, see your pretty face, and push a link to read about your book or whatever. So
Wonderful. Thank you. I've really enjoyed you having me on.
oh, I'm glad. To my family caregivers out there, you are the most important part of the caregiving equation. Without you, it all falls apart. So please learn to practice self care every day because you are worth it.